Similar to the last question, and maybe this would solve part of the last question, when are we going to see some standardization around production and post-production metadata? Because that's the reason why we have these type of problems. And is it something the PGA or the DGA or AMPAS or USC through the ETC needs to get involved in? Like, how do we get there? Because that seems to be the second biggest problem with metadata. Either you don't capture it, or you capture it in such a way that only, Jim, who's the assistant editor, would understand, and it's not interchangeable with any other part of the process.
I think that technology is, because it's solving all of our other problems, will also solve this problem eventually. I think that, and that was kind of a joke, but honestly, as storage gets smarter, and to your example with the Google Photos thing, as storage gets smarter, and to your point, we're at least getting a little bit closer to the word standards is really hard for me to digest these days because everything is so fluid, and coming up with some kind of answer in our current environment of production, trying to come up with a standard, it feels like by the time you've gotten a standard established and you push it through the universe that we all work in, something else comes up and totally destroys that standard. I mean, Aces, the Aces color space is a perfect example. Of course that's the greatest idea ever for for that workflow, but getting people to adopt it seems like it's like no, you tell people this is the greatest tasting meal you'll ever have in your life, and they're like, no, I don't want it. Or no, drive this Ferrari, it's amazing, or whatever, you can't force people to do something because they work the way they work. So I think it's up to the technology to just, again, be I don't know, I can't think of.
You've given us a few missions to work on, so I'll take this one as well.
It's just, once the storage, for example, is smart enough to gather a lot of that data on its own, and we can search that data easily, it'll get us 80% of the way there.
So it's basically metadata plus machine learning that creates smart content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Awesome.
I mean, believe me, I would love standards. I
spent 5 years running a startup that was focused on standards around metadata, and I just came to think of that entire experience as big rock, steep hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.